See this fuse? This little blue fuse here, 60 amp. This is what failed on the car. This is why the car wouldn't start. Why they tried hot wiring the fuel pump and everything to see if that would make the car start. No, this fuse, £1 it cost me to replace this fuse. £1. That is a fully drivable Renault Megane now. I did it. This 97 Renault Megane just 3 weeks ago was at the top of a scrap pile and is back on the road. Hello, I'm Jake and welcome back to my automotive channel. Yes, the 97 Renault Megane is now back on the road, all over a £1 fuse that the original owner couldn't trace down to find. Now, of course, they checked all the main fuses under your dashboard like most cars have, but cars also have fuses with the engine. And this particular Renault Megane has the battery under the scuttle, under the window screen here, and you have a fuse box on the inside there. Now, the water eventually will get down there and corrode the fuses, and that's what happened with this fuse here. And that stopped a signal going from the key to the engine and the immobiliser and the ECU and even the headlights. I'll get into that in a minute, and the indicators, and it basically would not start. So I fixed the car, cost me £1 to fix, but it's on the road. I have another Renault Megane Classic and I saved it from scrap. Thank you all for the kind messages and comments. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's just a basic Renault Megane to some people, but to me it's more than that. And I really appreciate all the messages. People are saying like how great it is that I've done this, I've saved it, the cars like this need to be saved, and you're 100% correct. Now this is your Renault Megane key. A common fault with these is when your battery dies, you've got to replace the battery, or else it's not going to work. Now when you take the key apart and remove the battery, the old battery, you can actually damage the solder and the wires going to your little sensor here. That sensor goes up to this sensor right here, and that's what unlocks and locks your car, and that's also what accesses the immobiliser. Now, because like I said, when you replace that battery you can damage those wires. That's not going to work. And I knew this was one of the problems before even picking the car out, because I know it's a common problem. So first thing I done was fix the key fob. I wasn't kidding. Just down here is your fuses and where the water gets to in the battery tray. And what that does, when the water gets to them, it can corrode them, damage them, and that's how you end up with a fuse like that. So now I'm just going to show you where the fuse had failed. Down there, see those wires? You can see there's 3 blue, and then just in the corner there's a green one. So yeah, I had to replace one of the blue ones that had obviously broken off. And yeah, job's a good one. Once I've done that, I was able to connect the key with the car, and yeah, he wanted to start but he wouldn't start, and we knew straight away, wait a minute, there's another problem here. So we walked in, pulled the seat up, and yeah, everything looked fine here. And then we noticed the wiring loom had been cut to the actual sender. And I think what had happened is they had cut it, because they couldn't get past the immobiliser problem, they had cut the wires, and all these wires here had all been frayed, like they'd been tinkered with. And I'm sure they tried hot wiring the fuel pump to see if that was the problem. I think that's what they tried doing. And yeah, I had to do some more soldering here, got that all sorted out. I had to remove all this trim to do that, but got that sorted. Got the fuel sender sorted. We did take it out, check it, got the motor sorted as well, tested the motor, and yeah, it's all fine. So once those wires were all linked together, I literally turned the key and the car started straight away. There was a bit of a rattly sound. Turns out that was the exhaust underneath where the fork truck had lifted the car down for us, well, and up and down. It had pushed the exhaust against the heat shield and damaged the heat shield, so it was a bit rattly, so we had to basically just bend the heat shield away from the exhaust. Now I've got the boring stuff out the way. Here it is. This is the 97 Renault Megane Classic, and let's talk about the wheels. You probably recognise them. I think it was a Mark 3 or Mark 4 Renault Clio I took these off. A guy was selling them on Marketplace, 60 quid, a full set, and I thought, yeah, let's go for it, let's get them. I did test fit on my 98 Megane just to make sure they fitted, and yeah, perfect. So we got 4 very good condition Renault Clio wheels on the Renault Megane Classic, and I think they really suit the car nicely. Better than Steely's. I don't mind Steely's when it suits the car and the wheel trims and that, but because I had to get some basic Steely's from Harry Bucky's, I would then have to get the wheel trims, and these popped up and I couldn't say no. Decent tyres as well, so don't have to worry about that. Bit curved in places, but that's fine. You know, they're a lot better than what I had on there. Now, all the body damage was obviously done in the scrapyard. Can't do anything about that just yet. However, I can get a new front wing for about £50. However, that's not important at the moment. One of the important things was to fix this rear light, and I did it. If you can remember in the first video when I picked the car up, the rear light had damage. See? So, trying to find one of them, I thought that's not going to be too easy. Might have to go get some from abroad. And it turns out one had been broke down in Crawley at the bottom of London, probably a couple of years ago, because there's a lot of old stock on that. And when I got the light, you could see it been on the shelf for a very long time. But no damage. I put it straight on the car. Took about 5 minutes to swap over. Perfect. Really happy with that, because I thought the rear lights might be a hard one to find. I'm still on the hunt for a mirror. You remember this mirror was hanging off. I've zip tied it at the moment. It's okay, it's not perfect, but it'll do the job for now. It's actually quite hard to get an electric one. It's easier to get a manual one, and I need an electric one ideally. But I can solve that another time. Put some wipers on it today. I literally got the wipers today, and yeah, perfect. I mean, didn't really cost too much to sort out. That did. Some of the car needed. The car wasn't scrapped over the wipers. They just got taken off at some point. Don't know why. Inside, I've gave it a bit of a clean, not a full deep clean yet. I cleaned the carpet up and everything. It's a bit fuely smell, so I put this really strong orange air freshener in the car. It's a bit fuely smell because obviously all the work with the sender and that. One of the things I was a little bit worried about, what would the gearbox be like? It's perfect, absolutely perfect. Horn works now, which is great. That was something that wasn't working, down to those fuses. This is the fuses they were messing with, and all of them are absolutely fine. It was just the fuses in the front now. I still got to put this scuttle trim on properly, but I can do that anytime. I've also got the radio working because the battery had been off. I had to get a code. I thought, oh no, I ain't going to get a code. And it turns out the glove box was full of all the paperwork. So we got that working now, which is quite nice. Radio and cassette. Bit of Metallica, but that all works lovely. So I love my cassettes. Note the little signs on the window there, no smoking in the car. Yeah, I don't think that was obeyed, but I need to clean that out. That stinks really bad. That takes me back to going into pubs in the early 2000s. There's the paperwork in there. Original manuals and everything. Radio code, just fantastic. We do have a 4 working sunroof as well, as mentioned. Everything works in here, apart from the passenger window switch. But the window works because I can control it from my side. So I might just have to have a look at the switch. But other than that, there's not really anything wrong with it. All the interior lights work. The clock works. All the lights on here work. It's, yeah, all because of that £1 fuse. And you know, not everyone's into cars like me. I was determined to find the problem. I wanted this car straight away because what it is. And yeah, it's you know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that a £1 fuse and this car was running again. Yes, I had to re-solder the wires, but I think that's because they were trying to get it started and they were trying all these different things. By the way, that didn't cost me anything to do. I used to do model railways, so I do my own soldering. I'm used to doing stuff like that. All the brakes work fine, the suspension's fine. There is a bracket that goes across the chassis side to side holding your fuel tank up. That will need replacing before the next MOT, which is September. This car has MOT on it still till September, which is even more mad. In there has a spare wheel. The spare wheel would have been taken out with the other 4 when it went to the scrapyard. So that's great because I have loads of spare wheels left now. I have to go and get wheels for this to bring it back. There's damage done to the doors. Like I said, this was all done scrappy. The door handle was done literally as we loading it back on the ground with the wheels, which was a shame really. But £27 to replace them, both sides. So I'm going to do that anyway. And this side's not been cleaned because it's been on the driveway being worked on. This side's against the wall, so I've cleaned the entire car and then I've missed this side. But like I said, everything works now. Everything works. There's 2 things I want to sort on it straight away. Is first of all, sort the exhaust out properly because like I said, the heat shield had been damaged. It's only been moved for now, but it is a hazard. If you're underneath a car, you could cut yourself on it. So we'll get that sorted. Also, the rear muffler, the exhaust, is held up with zip ties, not held up properly. That would have not passed MOT, I don't think. So we'll get that sorted. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? What can I say about this car? The fact that 3 weeks ago, this car was up on the top of a scrap pile, sat on the top of a Volvo estate, V50, next to a Mercedes of some sort estate. Yeah, I'm really proud of myself just because I've saved it. I really am. So there we have it, guys. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, thank you. I did not know the response was going to be like this towards this car, and thank you again. You know, it was really important for me to save it just because what the cars mean to me. And it's not 100% at the moment because of the body damage and what happened in the scrapyard. But these cars, when they're sent to scrap, it doesn't matter if they get dinged and that, because the outcome is they get crushed and ripped apart. So I can't expect the car to be a 100% immaculate in a scrapyard, can I? But this is it. I've saved it. It's back on the road. It's now insured, taxed. Means there's 7 of them on the road now in the UK, not just 6. And I'm going to be doing some cool things with this. I'm actually hosting my very first car show with EasyDriver 31 on the 9th of August in the Forest of Dean at Newnham, Broadoak. Now there will be some details put on my YouTube, but this car will be on display there, and I'm going to have a board done up of all the pictures and stuff I had to do with it, write up a bit of story, and yeah, so I have no words. The fact that I saved it, yes, it's not your normal classic Mini, Ford Escort, safe from a scrappy story. you know, your expensive rare cars. It's just a standard Megane that I only value to be around 600 to 800 pounds with a full MOT. So, but that doesn't matter to me. I don't care how much it costs because the car's more than that to me. So please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for watching. There will be more on this car very soon. There are some modifications coming, some other bits I want to do, and the repairs still. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. I will see you again very soon. Bye until next time.